Thanks for tuning in to the Realtor Moms podcast. We are Tasha and Jamie, full-time realtors and admittedly average moms. This is how we sell houses and try to keep our kids alive. So today we're going to do just a fun podcast of that actually both of our husbands are probably going to hate. And it's a little bit about how we decided to buy the houses that we live in, and a little bit about making a decision and who kind of has the final say about making a decision when they move into the house, because if Mama
ain't happy, no one is happy. I tell that to my husband all the time, and he just kind of shakes his head at me and just looks very grim.
Yeah. So, Tasha, tell me a little bit about how you guys chose this house, because you built, so your story is a lot different than mine. So how did you settle on this floor plan and the changes that you made and the location and all those things?
My husband and I did not look to buy a new home when we first started. We were hoping we could find the perfect pre-existing home to move into. Mm-hmm. But then when we really took into consideration that this was going to be what we were jokingly calling our forever home, right. that we had very clear specifications and criteria that we wanted in a home, and we weren't finding it in the homes that were already out there.
Suddenly it meant more, right?
It meant more. You
attach that tag of this is where we're going to live for the rest of
our lives.
Exactly. And now you get even more particular about the things that you want, which makes sense. It makes sense.
You know, when I look at it, my husband is the cook of the family, and
I didn't know that.
Yes, and I especially when I got into real estate, I said, which items do you want to take care of? Laundry, cleaning, cooking. He chose cooking. He chose cooking, which makes sense. I've gotten a lot of evenings and weekends, so someone has to feed the family.
Right.
But the kitchen was very important, so having that main floor level was open concept was a very important piece for us.
And how about having 3 girls in the house?
I went through having children on different floors, and it wasn't the best fit for us. I wanted that 2-story home with all bedrooms upstairs. And when we went through the parade of homes that year, it was really interesting because we walked through a property and we saw a nice little TV room and a little nook that was connected by 2 bedrooms. And my daughter Emma just loved it, and it became what she called the magic TV room.
That's so cute.
Yes,
the magic TV room.
The magic TV room. So my husband and I were thinking, how could we turn this into a fun family, experience that they would love? And we tried to find a way to put in a magic TV room into our own house.
That's awesome.
So we took 2 of our daughters, and we have a walk-in closet into a different walk-in closet in the other room, and we turned that closet into what we call the magic TV room.
So you got the girls their own magic TV room.
Their own magic TV room. It was amazing, and they love it, and it's fun. And now it is a little comical to hear the 16-year-old and the 10-year-old laughing when the 10-year-old is finding ways into the 16-year-old's room.
It has a totally different purpose now, doesn't it?
A total different purpose that I know the 10-year-old loves, but not necessarily the 16-year-old.
Right.
But we just tried to put the family into the process as much as possible.
Cool. Very cool.
So what about you, Janie?
Well, so 10 years ago almost, when Eric and I were house hunting, we wanted to find that 5 to 10 acre rural property with a cute but not super outdated little farmhouse under $200,000 with acreage and within 30 minutes of Fargo. Oh my gosh, God bless our realtor at the time, because that is so hard to find. I mean, it was really hard to find then. It is even harder to find now.
Yeah, it's a needle in a haystack.
It is a needle in a haystack. And it's kind of unrealistic, to be perfectly honest. But we tried, and we looked. We both grew up rural. And then this house popped up right in the city of Kindred. And it had everything that I was looking for. I really like old houses, and I always have. And it also had this really big garage, and that was such a big deal for my husband. But he was working on the road, so he wasn't home. But I called up my agent, and I was like, I saw this listing come up. Let's go see it right away. I think I want to buy it. And we kind of worked with a pair of agents that worked together. And he said, well, maybe we should wait for your husband to come back so he could see it too. And I'm like, nope. We're gonna go see it now, and if I like it, I think we'll just buy it, and then we'll let him decide at the home inspection. So I knew, because it had the garage that he was looking for, that he would be okay with it, and I know my husband pretty well, so he really liked the house, and not surprisingly, even more so liked the garage. So now, since then, we have 2 kids, and we've kind of renovated almost the entire thing from top to bottom. We haven't really touched the basement yet, but it's been a wonderful project for us, and he loves his garage.
Well, so that's amazing. Now that you're talking about your husband like that, it makes me think about when we were in the process of looking. Mm-hmm. We had a Rambler picked out, a 1-story home with a basement, and we were on the verge of writing an offer, but the garage wasn't big enough for my husband. And really, that was the it was the deal breaker for him. It really, really was.
So if daddy ain't happy, ain't nobody happy.
But I have to laugh, because we walked through a model home by the builder we went with, mm-hmm. and we walked into the master, and that was it. That was exactly it, because you've seen it.
Yeah, it's enormous.
But it has, I have 2 closets. There's 2 master closets. Right. The small one for my husband and my big one. I have to laugh all the time.
The size of my smallest child's bedroom really is the size of your closet.
Yeah, I know. My eyes got huge. I fell in love with the house. Mm-hmm. And basically at that point, my husband wasn't so sure about spending all of this money to purchase this property, and not even purchase the property, build the property. Right. And here we are, and I just kept going back to that house. Mm-hmm. And my husband gave in, because if Mama ain't happy, no one is happy. But in the build process, my husband did widen the garage to wider than the width of our house.
You said that.
Yes.
You said that. See, garages are super important.
It was super important. Super important. So he got what he wanted. I got what I wanted. Not we. Don't you love how I say we when it's me?
What's the difference? Well, one other thing that really sealed the deal at our house too, and it's not even about the house specifically, but part of our negotiation had to involve replacing the roof, because it was beyond its useful life. It needed a new roof. So during the sellers had hired a contractor, and the roof was being put on, and so over my lunch break, I worked in way southwest Fargo, I would zip over to Kindred, which really isn't that far, but I would go on my lunch break out to my soon-to-be house to see how the progress was going when they were putting new shingles on the roof. And I found the funniest thing. I found on more than one occasion, I found 2 or 3 of my soon-to-be neighbors standing up against the fence watching the guys work on the roof. And so I stopped and I introduced myself, and I said, I'm Jamie, and my husband Eric and I were going to buy this house. And I got to meet those neighbors. And I have never been so assured that a construction crew was going to do a fantastic job as I have been on our house, because those 3 guys,
they were at that moment, they would call you if there were any issues. Oh my gosh,
they would have been so on top of anything. They were all retired, and I think that was like their morning coffee. They would stand at the fence at the back of my house and talk. And I'll never forget that. That was the first time I had met each of the 3 of them, and they were like looking out for us. And I knew that I was going to have a great neighborhood, and I was just so excited to have those guys as neighbors and their families. And that sealed the deal.
Well, that's perfect.
I know. Neighborhood is huge. So those are our stories, and we would love to be a part of you making your story. So look us up on the RealtorMomsPodcast.com. Follow our hashtag on Instagram and Facebook of #RealtorMomsPodcast, and check out our website. Leave us a comment on there about what you want us to talk about. If you've got any questions, we would love to have your feedback.
Thank you for listening. Replay or hear more episodes at RealtorMomsPodcast.com, and follow us on Instagram with #RealtorMomsPodcast. This podcast is produced by Jamie R. Swenson and Tasha Barrett of Park Company Realtors, 28 North 10th Street, Fargo, North Dakota, 58102.